today we're gonna take you guys back to a neighborhood called Caughlin Ranch. If you are unfamiliar with where Caughlin Ranch is, it's gonna be south of Highway 80 on the west side of town, and the majority of Caughlin Ranch is on the exterior of the McCarran Loop. So it's got this nice big entryway. As you come into Caughlin Ranch, you can catch it right off the freeway, or if you're coming from South Reno, that area, you're gonna catch it right off of McCarran. And as you come down Caughlin Ranch Parkway, you are going to see all kinds of different options. But the thing and the reason why people live in Caughlin Ranch is the lifestyle here is a little bit different than anywhere else in town. It's an older neighborhood, it has lots of mature trees, it has lots of really good options depending on what price point you want to be in. So we on Promontory Point today, we're gonna show you a home that is over 6,500 square feet. It is just under $2.8 million, and it has all sorts of bedrooms, bathrooms, amenities. We just want to show you what it looks like. But if Sydney pans back to the other side, you'll see across the street, it's nothing more than grass over there. But Promontory Point, there's Eagle's Nest, there's Deer Creek, there's a bunch of these sort of semi-private communities within Caughlin Ranch that we want to show you guys today. And again, some of the ones we mentioned early at the beginning, but in here there's parks and playgrounds and tennis courts. There's all kinds of really cool stuff in here as far as why people like to look in here. But this house that we're going to show you again is 5 bedrooms, 6.5 baths. It's 6,550 square feet. And again, very custom. It's got pavers, the whole 9 yards. And up above, there is actually a separate casita. So you've got a 1-bedroom casita with its own bathroom, but we wanted to take you in and show you what it looks like. So there's this nice private courtyard area, and you can find houses like this in other parts of town, in other neighborhoods. And it's kind of nice because if you do get that afternoon breeze, or right now it's early in the day and you want to be in the shade, you can do it that way. But if you look up here, this is the casita. If you go up those stairs, there's a bedroom and bathroom and some things up there. But you can see this house, very private courtyard. Normally this water feature would be running. So if you're in Caughlin Ranch, you're about 10 minutes from downtown. If you're a skier, you're 30 or 40 minutes back to Lake Tahoe and the mountains, all those kind of things. And the nice part about Caughlin Ranch is there's all these distinct little neighborhoods. Where I'm standing today is a neighborhood called Promontory Point. It is on the back end, and that's where the house that we're going to show you today is. But if you start from the very beginning of Caughlin Ranch, as you drive your way through, there's a whole bunch of different neighborhoods that we're going to talk about. And there's Colin Glen, the cottages, there's Pine Creek, which is a little condo subdivision that's got a few places in there, Colin Creek, and Juniper Trails. And so depending on size of lot, price of home, all kinds of different things, you're gonna get lots of different options on there. So as you kind of come through and you drive through, there's all these nice walking trails, there's ponds, and as you get even a little further back into Caughlin Ranch, there's what's called Colin Club. It's a gym, it has a pool, it has tennis courts, pickleball courts, a nice big parking lot, but for the most part, it's just a different vibe, a different feel, and for those of you that are looking for mature landscaping and mature trees and just a little bit more of the less, you know, nothing against the South Meadows, but a little less of what I call the Vegas style neighborhood, where it's all stucco homes and everything looks kind of similar on small lots. Now, the house that we're going to show you today is in a neighborhood called Promontory Point, which is on the back end of Caughlin Ranch. It's gated, it does have access to a pool, and when you loop through here, it's just literally a loop. There's a nice little park outside. It's only about 25 homes in here. So these are very unique, very custom, and we're going to take you inside and show you what a $2.5+ million house looks like. All right, so as we come in through the front door, we're gonna take you right off the bat into this formal living space, which has a really big, dramatic gas fireplace, a really cool chandelier, some very nice rockwork archways. And then, if you open up the double doors to this little lookout, Sydney can walk all the way out here and she can show you the backyard. You've got a little more space over there to the right. And at the time of shooting this, we're sort of getting right into that season where all these leaves are going to start to fall off the trees. So all the water features and all that stuff are turned off at the moment. But you can see no neighbor right behind you. And that is Caughlin Ranch Parkway right there. But you are so far up on the road that that would be a relatively quiet, somewhat private street. Well, let's come on back into the house. And now what we're going to do is, if you walk in the front door, we're going to go to the right. And this is most of the main living spaces that people would be using. So you have your really nice formal dining room with a huge chandelier. And then off those doors, there's another little patio area. So if you wanted to sit outside and drink your coffee. And then as you come in, you've got this massive kitchen that leads into another living space. So these are the kind of things that people are looking for in a house that would be of this size and of this price point. But it's got a really cool, you know, high-end appliances, high-end cooking, you know, stovetop area, breakfast bar, huge island. Behind Sydney back there, we have another small like breakfast nook eating area. But as you curve back into this giant room, another living space, you got a bar area. And what I really like about this house is you can get outside. So there's double doors back to the courtyard in the front right there. And there's doors back to another little area out here in the front of the house with another gas fireplace. So these are the kind of features you would see in a house of this size and at this price. And in Caughlin Ranch, you can find these. This one, again, is built in 2005. So this is honestly a little on the newer side of what you find. There are a couple of sections in the back of Caughlin Ranch where you can find some other stuff. So now we're back by the front door again. And if you make a left versus a right, you've got a nice office space here with some French doors. There's some furniture that is still here. The house is mostly empty at this point, but there's some built-ins. I mean, it would be used basically as an office. It's not even being counted in the bedrooms. And then as you work your way, this side of the house has a lot of the bedrooms. So let's go into the primary suite. And right now, house is empty. So you can see what it would look like. Obviously, it's a little helpful if there was some furniture in here. And this house has a gas fireplace that is two-sided that leads into this jetted tub area. So I'm gonna move out of Sydney's way so that you're not gonna see us just standing there in the mirrors, and there's Sydney and I. And you can see now, it's a really big bathroom space, right? You've got a huge long vanity, you've got double sinks, and then as you walk just behind Sydney, we've got the shower, and we've got actually, it's a push, not a pull, a massive master closet. So if you happen to be watching this and you're looking at areas in Reno and you're looking in this, say, $2.5 to $3 or $3+ million range, these are the kind of houses you can expect to see. You can find a lot more of that. But let's go check out some of the other bedrooms that are down the stairs or down the hallway. And then you've got 3 bedrooms down here that would be, I call them kid bedrooms, guest bedrooms, family bedrooms, whatever you want to use. And what's nice is all of them have their own bathrooms. So there's closets, and they all have their own bathrooms. So that's how we ended up with the, 6.5 bathrooms, because we have a half bath out in the front of the house. But all of these bedrooms, nice and big, much bigger than what you see in the more modern houses. And what's nice again is it's not Jack and Jill. So they're all sharing their own bathroom. So if the dark wood or the light fixture or something doesn't happen to be your style, that's easily fixable stuff. But what's nice is these do not have to share that bathroom with each other. So as you come through one more, and they're big. And this one's back towards the front end of the house. The interesting part about this house is these bedrooms all have chandeliers, where most time you'll see some sort of can lighting or something along those lines. So that part is a little unique on there. There's Sydney again saying hello. And then this one just has a shower. A couple of them have shower tubs, and we go from there. So most of the bedrooms are upstairs. So if you were somebody who, we get a lot of times where if you get people that don't want 2-story house, if you were living in the primary bedroom and you were the owners of the house, you wouldn't really necessarily have to go downstairs. But we are gonna walk you down this really cool spiral stairway. We're gonna show you they have a theater downstairs and some other living space down there as well. And then there's, of course, good access out to that backyard. So let's go take a look downstairs and we'll show you what we got. So if you're someone who's thinking about moving to Northern Nevada, do me a favor. Click the link in the description below. We'll get you a copy of our free buyer's guide. Get you a lot of great information for all the things you know to get your journey started to Northern Nevada. All right, so we worked our way down this really cool spiral staircase. It is nearly kind of near the kitchen area and all that kind of good stuff. But the reason you come down here, and there's not a whole lot of reasons to come down here unless you're really looking to do some fun things, is they have this really cool theater room. So it's got access for probably 6 or 8, 10 chairs, depending on how big a chairs you want to go. It's got a big screen right there. And then it leads right back into, and I realize in here it's slightly dark on purpose, is there is a really cool, huge wine cellar. So if you're a wine collector, this is a great room for you. You don't see a lot of these in Reno, but that's part of why this downstairs area is painted dark. It is dark. It's a little cooler down here. Anytime you're in a, I call it daylight basement area in Reno, it's typically a little cooler in those spaces. Where Sydney is standing has a nice brick floor. And I don't know exactly how many bottles they can put in here, but it is quite a few. And then as you work your way back this way, back towards the stairwell, Then there's this room right here, which right now there's a table in, but if it was me personally, it would be a pool table, a ping pong table. You could turn it into a separate TV room if you wanted kids to use down here, but you've got that theater right there already. So this is one of those spaces where you can use it for a lot of different things. I would imagine with what they're already doing down here, it would turn more into a game room, in my opinion. And then behind the curtains there's access again out to that backyard, and there's another patio overhang space. So this house does have a lot of really cool indoor, outdoor, accessible together living spaces, and again, over 6,500 feet. And then this is a feature of the house. We don't normally show people garages, but again, this is why if something says it's a 3-car garage, it's not always the same. These have the really tall garage doors. It has a lot more space, a higher ceiling, built-in shelves. And actually, if you come back this way, there's a little room back here so that your trash cans and stuff can live inside. And then there's another closet here where the water heater happens to be that you can put some other storage in there. So it's honestly a lot bigger than your everyday 3-car garage. So when you see houses that say 2-car, 4-car, whatever, just know that doesn't automatically mean big or small. Some 3-car garages are tiny. You can't even get 3 cars in there. And sometimes you get a 2-car garage that are just massive. So this is a really big space that we wanted to show you. And this is more of an exception than the rule as far as big garages go, because it's got, like I said, the tall doors. So if you're driving around in a truck or you've got a ski rack on top of your car, you don't have to worry about it scraping off the top of the roof. So we give you a few other tips as to why people and families love living in Caughlin Ranch. It's a very low traffic area as far as it's kind of self-contained. So it's got really safe streets if you're walking around. It's a low traffic neighborhood. It's super walkable, bikeable, joggable, all those kind of things. So when people are all over those paths, they can use all that good stuff. There is really good after school programs around here, and there are lots of different options as far as price points go. So again, today we showed you a higher end, more expensive house in Promontory Point. But regardless of that, whether you're looking in any of the other subdivisions in the other neighborhoods that are in Caughlin Ranch, you can get in here for a much more affordable, reasonable price than this particular house is. And again, lots of options, lots of stories, conveniently located, easy access back to California. So if you have questions about Caughlin Ranch, or if you're someone who's kind of looking in this price point and has questions about potentially some other areas besides Caughlin Ranch, by all means, reach out to us. We're happy to help. We're happy to give you the information that you need so that you can make good choices and good decisions when you're thinking about coming to Northern Nevada. So if you're looking for more information about Caughlin Ranch, check this out right here. And if you have questions, reach out.